Hello, Arc peeps. I'm tired. I can tell you I'm tired. You know why? Because the past days have been a mess. And I'm not writing script right now, so I'm just going to explain everything to you. Like free talking, and I hope I don't forget anything. When Ark Survival Ascended got released, it was a little bit of a waiting time for us because I wanted to make content on our server, on the Norwegian Viking server, so we had to wait for the server files. We didn't know how long it would take until we get them, so we were just sitting here and hanging out. And yeah, once it was released, the game, that was Thursday morning for us. I think it was 7:30 or something. I was streaming beforehand for 15 hours, I think, waiting for the release itself to drop. Then I went to bed, I slept for 1 hour, saw that the server got released, then just pressed install on the game and went to bed for another 2 hours. And yeah, then we went live again, and I waited for confirmation. I waited for the server files to drop the same day, like they usually do. And while I was on stream, the news broke to me that Nitrado had shut down unofficial server hosting, basically, despite what they had promised us. So I had to end my stream at that point because I was so angry that I could not hold back anymore, and I didn't want people to have to watch me being angry, and people have to watch me being very ragey, because that's not who I am and that's not what I am. And at this point, I haven't had any videos here on this channel other than our trailer reaction video, because that was the point where everything was still fine. So the whole first release day, like after I ended my stream, which was fairly early, I was just sitting here and I was utterly mad. I was really angry. I was not angry at Wildcard because I know they had no say in any of the exclusivity, because all of the exclusivity was done between Nitrado and Snail. And the devs really just wanted us to get the game and just play it and try it out to see what they had done in the game. And honestly, I really loved what I saw in the game. I really loved everything they put into ASA, despite it having the bugs it had and despite it having the issues it had, because, I mean, it's a release, it's a new game, it's early access, like, come on. We already knew it would be some kind of broken. But I was mad because now Nitrado would put their foot onto everything. I don't know if you have seen, but you were only able to host one server per account. You would have had to rebuy the game for basically every map you're going to host, and then you would have to set up a virtual machine for every single server, because you cannot run several Steam accounts at the same time. So no matter what you did in order to make it happen, it wouldn't have been feasible for a user to actually go this route and actually do it this way. So in the end, Nitrado made it the hardest possible to fulfill the requirement in their contract to free servers that people host on their own. And I was really mad. The next day, I was still mad, by the way. And we're talking here about yesterday. I was still mad. I went live on stream and we had a talk. We had a 1 hour rant about all of the things happening at Nitrado, and that I don't know how to do content on the game because not being able to host our own servers, like, you know, I'm on the Norwegian Vikings cluster and they had already everything prepared. That is like a big part of my content when I'm streaming. And when I show you gameplay on stream, that's me on the Viking server. That's me playing with the community. And to be them taking that away from me was crazy. Like, I had no words. I was beyond any understanding, and I was really mad at Nitrado. And then yesterday, we had joined like a random server on the unofficial list, and we had been preparing a little bit on there, and that server had so many issues with Nitrado. The server rolled back yesterday like a few times, and then the server produced corrupted save files and then was ending in a reboot loop, like so many other servers. I have heard this from so many people that host on Nitrado, that suddenly were stuck in a reboot loop, and the Nitrado support basically blamed the admin for it being a reboot loop. And despite like so many other servers having the same issue, I was like, my anger yesterday like went beyond what I thought was possible for me. So yesterday we played a little bit on the server, and I was really not feeling doing any content because I didn't see ASA being able to be a game with the state it was in yesterday. And not because in the state it was in like the game itself, but in the infrastructure thing that was going on, the infrastructure that was going through Nitrado, or if you applied, oh god, I need to tell you this. The only way you could get a license or an authentication key for a server with Nitrado is either having a community of 10,000 active members or being a content creator with 10,000 followers and with 5,000 views per content piece. But then yesterday evening something weird happened. We were playing on the server, not expecting anything. My mood was like right in the basement and even below. Suddenly we got a patch note saying that the restrictions of the server files had been lifted, and I was like, I don't know if I understand right what they do. And we have basically bots looking on every change that has been done to the game since the game wasn't even out. So we are looking at basically every single little patch, even if it's an unannounced patch they do. We're looking at everything. And we're also tracking EULA changes. EULA, that's like the server rules you have to agree to when you set up a server. And we even looked at them. And even on the EULA rules, everything was rolled back. There was none of the restrictions on there anymore that Nitrado put on us like one day after launch. And I couldn't believe my eyes, if I'm completely honest. I couldn't believe my eyes. So we went and first of all, I just test the server files right off Steam to see if there's anything where I had to like authenticate myself, blah blah blah. It worked on Steam. So I started a sandbox on my PC and I put the server files on it, and the sandbox didn't have any Steam access or any access to my personal Steam account. So I started a server with that one as well, and it worked. So the version yesterday they pushed right after the announcement was the version that did not have the authentication requirement. So you can just run servers if you want to run servers. And it's such a big deal for the whole community. When I tweeted it out yesterday, you couldn't believe how many people were not only relieved, like how many people were like, yeah, I'm taking back my negative review. Or people being like, oh yeah, now I'm buying the game actually. And people were like, oh, cool. So ASA is not dying now. Because the restrictions that were on the game before, that would have been the death to ASA, and that just one day after it came out. Like, you need to keep in mind, ARK Survival Evolved had like over 200,000 servers last year. When we did our comparison between official, unofficial, and PvE, PvP, we also pulled a list of all of the unofficial servers, and we had to stop at like 160,000 because there was no end to it, and we were running to the limits of the API restrictions that we had. So they had far over 200,000 servers last year. And yesterday, before the restrictions were lifted, before that everything was lifted, they had 300 servers, at best 300 servers, compared to 200,000 servers on ARK Survival Evolved a year ago. And those 300 servers were people who couldn't play at the same time as they were hosting a server, because that was also restricted. And I'm so happy that Nitrado obviously came to their right mind, lifting all of these restrictions that they put on ASA, understanding that that was probably the worst business decision they have done in their lifetime of hosting servers. And thank you to that one sane person that did the decision and reverted those changes. Honestly, now my actual ASA grind can start. Our server is set up. It still has some issues. We can't join it from the outside, but we might be able to get this done hopefully in a timely manner. And then we can hopefully do our planned content. So big shout out to all of the community members that have been allowed, to everyone who signed the petition to end this madness that was the restrictions that have been put on us unannounced a day after release of the game. Just to put this here, that those restrictions were not announced. Those restrictions were put on us handily after one day after the release. I'm really glad that we're done with this now and we can focus on setting up our community servers and do what we actually wanted to do, and this is play ASA. I hope it's okay for you to listen to me rambling, and I'm so tired. I did not sleep proper the past 3 days. I need a coffee and I need a hug. But yeah, at least we can get our servers up, and thank you for watching this video. And if there's any more news, I'll be here.